Are you ready to learn an opening that is minimal amount of theory, but you can still play for the advantage as white early on? This is called the Scotch Game, and I'll teach you this in less than 10 minutes, and I'm at a legal national master, and let's go. So we go e4, they go e5, they go as white, knight f3, they go knight c6, and d4, the Scotch Game. They take on d4 99% of the times, but if you want to be going beyond this video and going exploring for theory that is really aggressive, the Scotch Gambit is bishop c4. But it's beyond the scope of this video. We want to make it easy to play as white. This is why we go knight takes d4 instead. There's a lot of ways for black to go wrong. People can try to take on d4 with a knight, but this is actually leading to a lot of things that black can go wrong. For example, if they do knight f6, this is a blunder because e5 makes the knight go back to g8. They go c5. C5 is fine because we go queen e3. If they go knight d5, simply queen e4. The knight has to move again. We have all the tempos. We have the lines. This is not good for black. We have all the development, all the space. We have all the control. This is not going to be good for black. That's why knight takes d4 is not advised. The main lines are bishop g5 or knight f6. Let's look at the bishop c5 line. I recommend you defend the knight with a bishop e3 move, but if they want to apply up the pressure, they go queen f6. It's a really aggressive mainline move. Bishop c3 is good enough. We defend a d4 as much as we can. They go knight ge7, bishop c4, developing, and if it castles, just castles ourselves. Nothing complicated. So just do bishop b6. So the reason why bishop b6 is important because this bishop is loose. This bishop is loose because in the line, that can happen if they go queen g6, attacking the pawn, we do knight d2, right? The knight d2 is fine. But always make sure that, for them, to make sure that every piece is accounted for and defended, all right? So that's why people usually go bishop b6. Knight c2 is a really cool line I really like to play. After d6, we take up b6, and now just f4. We'll push the pawn forward, and this is going to be a good game. Bishop e6, bishop b5, saying that you want to take me? Do that, and I'll take back with a pawn. You go back, and knight a3, easy game. Knight b5 is coming in, maybe something like this, developing the queen to the second rank where you connect the rooks. It's easy game. Black is really tattered with the queenside pawns being that way, and the knight is passive. They have to do a couple moves to get back in the game. White is already better and easy to play. So let's talk about other lines, which is probably earlier. We have this knight f6 move, which is a line. We go knight takes c6, pawn takes c6, and bishop c5. This knight f6 already is a blunder. Again, knight f6 is always natural things to do in your set, but you know what? Why bishop b6 was played is the number of reasons why, because the knight takes c6 attacks the queen, but the bishop is also hanging. It's not defended. Why? It gives clear to the motion that why do we bishop b6? Go back, because it voids this tactic. You want to go knight f6, but no, you can't do that. You defend the bishop first and then knight f6. It's really complicated for black, but easy for white. That's the cool thing about the Scotch Game is white has no worries, but black has all the worries in the world. They want to develop naturally. No, mister. You have to play by our rules, or else you get crushed. All right? So let's go back to this point. We have this one on move 4. Well, we have this one, knight f6. At f6, we go knight c3. Just nothing complicated. And they go bishop b4, pin the knight. They want to take this one because the knight is pinned. So what we do is take on c6. They take with a b pawn or d pawn. Let's say the b pawn. Then we go bishop b3. Simply, they go d5. We'll take on d5 and h3. We can castle. You can castle as well, but I recommend h3. The castles, and you're probably thinking about what about d4? What is a problem about d4? There's actually no problem at all. Simply move like a3 and attacking the bishop. So if they take the pawn here, we'll take the bishop. They take our pawn, bishop there. We have even material of all this and the bishop pair. And just castle next move, we're going to have a game. And the bishop pair in open spaces and the pawn isolated, these ones, A, C pawns are isolated. These are two together as a pair. White has a lot of opening explosions that we can occur and actually attack black with. And white has the bishop pair lined up. Ideally, the bishop's pair like to point in the same parallel direction. This has already been done. So white is dynamically a lot better. So that's why it's not acceptable to do this. So that's why people, instead, they go something like castles. We castle, getting rid of the things, rook e8, queen f3, developing the pieces, bishop f4, bishop e6, knight e2 devoid, this isolated pawn with the bishop takes e3. But after this point, we have, after bishop e6, just rook e1. It's just a normal game, nothing complicated. This one back there, knight takes there. And we have an easy game. Just development normally, we have a better pawn structure. They have, let's say, islands. We have only 2 islands. They have 3. And sadly, we have a better position. And we have an easier game. We have open lines, and we have control. The bishops are better for us. Bishop d3 is a lot better than their lanky bishop at e6, because it's the same color as the son of the pawns. And that's not going to be good for them, but for us, easy peasy. That's why this game is good. So let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about the other interesting line of the take with a D pawn. In this case, we'll just do queen takes swap, then bishop e2, and after bishop e6, just castles queenside. Knight g4 doesn't matter, bishop e1 check on the king. Then goes something miserable like this, h3, now I have to go back, and we have an easy game. And you can see, you can just conceptualize this bishop on b4, what once was really good, is now really pointless. It's not doing anything. Attacking c3, okay, I'll take the pawn, the bishop back. There's something like in this game, f3 is good enough. Bishop e3 is also, well, the cool thing is this Scotch Game is so cool and so good. You can do multiple rays, and they're all good and safe, and no harm to be done by you. And if you know the theory more than your opponent, then you're gonna thrive. And you can just have this part 2. Beyond this video, look at the Scotch Gambit and have fun with it. And I'll see you next time. Hey, check this video out to make sure that you get more important information to bring your chess to the next level.